there was a basis for the conclusion that H6 had been in a position to generate relationships with prominent UK figures which could be leveraged for political interference purposes.
And when it comes to a member of the royal family, I simply say this. How was it that somebody who was known to the Security Committee, to the security forces, was allowed to get so close to a member of the royal family without proper scrutiny exposing them?
And the rather sycophantic tone the Prime Minister took with President Xi at the G20 a few weeks ago may not be very wise in light of what we now know.
In terms of the approach to China, I don't agree with his characterisation of the Prime Minister's recent meeting, and I would just say very gently to him, at least he didn't take him to the pub for a pint.
It's not just the big schemes that need looking at, it's the small ones too. Elite capture can happen at higher education level and infrastructure level too. Peking University HSBC Business School in Oxford wants to expand. The local planning authority narrowly passed it, and I asked for the last government to call it in. Last week, this government has approved the scheme. This is a mistake. The economic benefit is going to be going to the Chinese Communist Party primarily.
Yang Tengbo is the alleged Chinese spy who's been stalking the corridors of power in our country and rubbing shoulders with royalty, prime ministers and business leaders. Yet his name has been withheld from the great British public. Does the Minister agree with me that it was only withheld to avoid embarrassment of previous prime ministers, business leaders, and was not in the best interests of the British public?
Well, I'm sure the honourable member will acknowledge that I named H6, the individual, that the reason for his initial anonymity was as a result of a court order and was not a decision by the UK government.
Sure.
So does the Minister agree that inaction is not an option? And how can the Minister provide the security to Chinese nationals who are British citizens about their safety and security? Those who I've had to report to the PSNN, the part because I was concerned for their safety as they live their lives in the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The honourable gentleman has been very consistent in raising this matter previously. Let me give him an absolute assurance that foreign intervention, wherever it comes from, is completely unacceptable, and this government will use all tools at our disposal to combat it. We use the mechanism of the Defending Democracy Task Force, and there is a lot of work going on to look at the issue of transnational repression. So I can assure the honourable member that we take these matters very seriously.